welcome back to a festive Page 3 Hot Topics. We've got all the girls this week. We've got the whole gang, all of Santa's elves. Welcome.
Hi.
So this week is a bit of a heated one. It is the festive period, but apparently MPs have been celebrating Christmas too last year, allegedly in lockdown. Now, all of that is to be addressed today. There have been calls for Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, to resign after Allegra Stratton has also resigned after that video came out. But we're going to be talking about all of that today. You could potentially be dating one of the Page 3 girls as well. On the other end of the spectrum, away from Boris Johnson, Chloe, which we'll be talking about at the end. So stay tuned. But any comments that you've got today, then pop them in the section below and we'll get them answered for you. Want to hear your opinions on this, as obviously everybody is up in arms over all of the allegations which have been coming out in the past 48 hours. So let's kick things off then. So Boris Johnson has come under fire after a video had got leaked of his senior aide, Allegra Stratton, at a mock press conference, essentially. Remember when we had the daily briefings coming around last year? And at the mock press briefing, there's got mentioned of a Christmas party with some wine and cheese, essentially. This is when we were under severe lockdown restrictions. We were told that we couldn't mix households. I think we were also told towards Christmas, some of us got told to stay where we are. We couldn't see family. People couldn't see each other in hospitals. I apparently can't use my ring light.
You nearly got knocked out.
I know, I nearly got knocked out by the ring light. The drama is still happening.
Sorry.
But, Chloe, I know you're a big fan of Boris Johnson. So what do you make of the allegations?
Well, I just think it is a bit snaky, isn't it, though? Like, I love him so much. Like, I just really want to hug him. Like, I just have this thing, I just want to hug him. But I just think it is pure snaky because they're meant to be setting an example towards, like, us. Like, why should we listen when, like, they're not doing it? Do you know what I mean? It's just snaky. Like, they're just all snakes. I'm just not listening anymore, I don't think, now.
Well, that's the thing. They've obviously lost public trust, haven't they?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are up in arms over this. Putting restrictions on people anyway is difficult enough. Then the people who are putting the laws and the rules in on restrictions, then turning around and having a party themselves. Has anyone else got really strong opinions on this? Do you think it's time for Boris to just step down now?
Yes.
That was very strong. So talk me through that, Jay.
I just can't stand him. Yeah, I think he needs to resign. But I think if it wasn't him, it'd be someone else, and they would probably do the exact same. So it's like an endless cycle. I think it's that entire party just needs to go because they just don't care, have no respect. It's awful. Absolutely.
Do you think as well, Allegra Stratton obviously got the hit from this? She's obviously the one that's, been filmed. But obviously there are so many other people. I mean, she's not going to be having a one-man party, is she? Yeah. There's other MPs and other politicians obviously involved. We're not condoning what she said at all. But do you think she's kind of got like the harsh end of it? Do you think they all just need to basically come out now and say, this is what happened? Daisy, what do you think?
Yeah, I just think, wow, like more front than Sainsbury's. The audacity of saying to people, and not even like you can't be together at Christmas, like the sad parts of people in hospital on their own, people giving birth on their own. Like, it's so sad, and they're literally just doing the complete opposite. I think every single one of them has to like hold their hands up with responsibility. They were all there. I mean, it's like Boris would have had to have known about it, surely. I think it's more hurtful to the public that they're laughing about it, and it's so bad. It's awful.
The mockery. Yeah. So the video itself, they are genuinely laughing and joking about it at this press conference.
Just feels like a game, all of it.
Yeah, let alone just doing it and then going ahead and laughing about it. Bridget Quinn said he should go. I think lots of people are like that this morning. He obviously spoke in Prime Minister's questions yesterday and he tried to defend his actions. Do you think that's enough? Do you think him saying, it's totally not on, when he heard about it, he was apparently furious? That's, I don't think that's kind of working anymore. Do you think, is there anything else that he could do to try and gain back the public trust?
I think he's lost it completely now. Like, that's the worst thing he could have ever done. Like, the party and stuff and people laughing. Nah, it's done. It's over. People have got it in their heads now. It's not changing. Like, I've seen all the little videos people are posting and that, taking like the mickey out of it all. Like, have you seen the one where they're partying on Facebook?
Photoshop a bit behind.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Frankly embarrassing. Sophie said, should MPs be banned from lying to the public? How are we meant to trust anything they say? She makes a fair point.
Yeah. I don't think you'll ever get them to not lie. They do it for a living. But it's not even this party, is it? It's like the snogging video and like someone travelled across the country to go and see their family. Like, they're all at it. So, and this is the only thing we potentially know as well.
Yeah, John said he should be jailed for what he has done to families in this country. Chloe, you've reacted quite strongly there. I can hear your in the background.
I just feel like jailed is a bit crazy, I suppose. Jailed's a bit far. I just think he should maybe step down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Does anyone else think that he should be jailed and agree with John, Jay?
I would love him to be jailed. It wouldn't be fair because he would obviously just get battered, so it wouldn't be fair. But yeah, I think he's awful. I think he should.
I don't think he'd last 5 minutes in jail.
No, it wouldn't be fair because he is obviously like an elderly man now. But I just.
Well, he's an elderly man who just had a baby actually today. Louise, he just Carrie just gave birth this morning to a baby girl. Louise Cooper said, sack them all and prosecute them.
I agree.
It would be interesting to see if there's any other footage which gets leaked in the coming days. Lisa sack him. I think that's kind of the ongoing line. I think that's happening, and it is embarrassing. Do you think that young people as well? Obviously, I mean, the Conservative votes obviously for an older demographic. Do you think young people as well completely out the loop now? Next time the election comes round.
Yeah. Young people are just not going to listen at all now. Like, do you know what I mean? They didn't really listen before, but like, nah.
Yeah. Justin said all parties need sacking and a reshuffle put through. The 2021 people should have their own parties. And this is the thing. This is what we're going to touch on next. Should the public follow restrictions, seeing that the MPs obviously can't follow their own rules that they've set out in Parliament? We put this to a poll. Do you plan on it? No, 75% of people said no, they don't plan on following new government restrictions. And yes, 24%. Do you think that that's selfish of the people who are saying no, or do you understand their point of view?
I don't think it's selfish. I think we all now know what you've got to do to get through it. Everyone knows how to keep themselves safe. So I think everyone will just do that. How can you follow the rules as somebody that's playing their own game? And it's just ridiculous. No, I agree. I would also vote that.
Yeah. Faye said this country is going to rebel and to any further restrictions. Jay, are you tempted to rebel?
Yes and no, really, because I feel like you kind of follow the rules for like vulnerable people and stuff. I wasn't following the rules because the government said so. I was following them because I didn't want to give anybody the virus, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm double jabbed now, I will go and see my mum and dad and whatnot. But if the jab wasn't out, I would listen to the I wouldn't go and see my nephew and stuff. Not because Boris said so, but because I don't want to make anyone ill. That's what I don't understand. Having parties, did they not think, oh, maybe this person's going to get COVID? But then Boris did get COVID, didn't he?
Yeah, Louise said, I lost my father last year and couldn't see him, and them having a party is disgusting. I'm so sorry, Louise. Like, so many people are in your position. They couldn't have gone to see vulnerable loved ones as well, and they didn't have a chance to properly say goodbye. And they had to do it all on FaceTimes. It puts so much pressure onto the NHS, and you just think, hot kettle black, like, what? If we could go into lockdown again, I'm not doing it. I've had all my injections and I'm done, Louise said. Chloe, do you agree on this?
Yeah, 100%. I can't do another lockdown. It's just mental. It's just, do you know what I mean? We're meant to be looking up to them. Like, I'm not being funny. I know, like, my nan will hate me saying this, but like, why should we do like all these things when they're not doing it? Like, it's just not fair. Especially we're younger than them, like us girls. We want to go out and live our lives, and they're sitting there partying. Like,
yeah, completely. Barry said, this is just stupid. If it was true, why do they not show this? Last year, they're trying to get Boris out. Leave him alone. Another PM has done this. You're all doing a great job. For leave him alone, another PM had all this. You're doing a great job. So Barry seems to be on Boris's side, if I'm correct in thinking. Last year, they're trying to Boris to leave him out alone. No other PM has had all this. This is true. There's not been another PM who's had to deal with a pandemic. All eyes have been on him. But what I think people are really annoyed about Barry is obviously he's the PM creating the rules. He's the one going into Parliament, creating all of these things. If he expects the public to, then at least the people that can work for him can follow the rules. Surely. But if you're like Barry and also on Boris' side, which seems to be a minority of people, we'd love to hear from you. But Chris, people have had to give up seeing loved ones and couldn't be there at funerals, etc. Even the Queen. This is a really good point. The Queen had to attend Philip's funeral on her own, but Boris and the gang had parties. Alleged parties, obviously. This is true. The Queen, I wonder what the Queen thinks about this.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
I wish we could get her on Hot Topics right now. The Queen.
Queen Liz on Hot Topics. That'll be quite something. Do you think that it's embarrassing for the royal family? Obviously, they have a connection. I mean, what do you think the Queen would think about this?
She's obviously broken the rules herself. The only reason she was by herself at the funeral was because it was going to be publicised. That's what I think. They were all breaking the rules, of course. But then I broke the rules. So I guess everybody's guilty. But, you know, the important ones, when it came to like vulnerable people, babies, old people, I wasn't there. So I think everyone's broken the rules. But if we're getting paid so much money,
they're meant to be setting an example at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it.
Making the rules. If you can't follow your own rules, why are you making them and telling everybody else to do it?
Yeah.
Quite right. John, he's lied and scammed the people of this country, saying one thing and doing another. He's not doing a good job. He's playing his own game. This is true. So obviously, Boris touched on last night about Christmas parties. It was obviously linked to the video. Do you think that parties this year should be cancelled? Obviously, he said, you know, be careful when mixing. One of the professors, I think one of the science team who works with Boris throughout the pandemic said, be careful about mixing with too many people. Will you be going to Christmas parties, first off, girls? And do you think people should sort of step back slightly this year and be a bit more concerned? Daisy, will you be going?
I don't have a Christmas party. I've never actually been to one. Any kind of job I've ever had, flying or whatnot, I've never been able to go to a party. But if I was going to one, I would still go.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. So would I. Why would we not go? And they're like raving it up and that. Like, I'll definitely go.
Yeah. And Jay, would you go?
Yeah. Definitely. I don't have one because obviously I'm a one-man band, but
same.
Oh, we'll have to make our own party then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you remember last year in the pandemic we were doing Zoom parties? I mean, this is what's so mad. Like,
I remember people done that on FaceTime.
Sit back at home doing Zoom parties, and they're having Camembert and Merlot.
So
Allegedly. Kira says, my heart goes out to everyone over there. I have family in the UK. Please stay safe. Well, this is what we have over last year. We've obviously got vaccines and booster jabs available, which is what we didn't have last year. Obviously, we've touched on Xmas parties being cancelled. We touched on Boris Johnson resigning. You guys are very vocal today. But we're going to move on from Boris now, as I think the overall opinion there was negative. I think we might have a poll on Christmas parties being cancelled too. Yes, 25%, no, 75%. So, yeah, I feel like people are just going to go ahead, apart from a small minority. I think as long as everyone's safe and obviously do the best you can, and everyone just has to kind of go with what they think's right until we hear more restrictions. But we have been told to work from home. But of course, that brings into the work Christmas parties in general. Now, we do have a little bit of a little bit of research that we've been doing, and apparently more people are hooking up at Christmas work parties and cheating on their partners, which is quite naughty, obviously, and we do not condone this, but this has come out with a bit of research that we've been looking into. Now, girls, are you surprised by this? Have you seen it yourself? Have you done it yourself? Gone into the stationery cupboard and seen a Christmas snog under the mistletoe? Have you been witness to the cheating yourselves?
No, but I've only seen it in films. Like a lot of films I watch, like, I love it. It's all like spice it up, like they go Christmas parties and there's always something what happens. But no, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it actually does happen. Like especially probably ones like in London, like office parties. I can imagine them proper being sneaky. Of course, not the Daily Star though.
It's not the Daily Star. It's not the Daily Star. That would never happen here. Daisy, have you ever been witness to a bit of cheating or a Christmas?
No, I haven't, and I probably would lie even if I had, but I haven't. But it doesn't surprise me that people do cheat at a Christmas party. It doesn't at all. I think you work with these people all the time. You build relationships with them. If somebody's going to cheat, whether that's at a Christmas party or not, you're now drinking with your colleagues, there's alcohol involved. If you are a person that cheats, rather than pulling a stranger on a night out, it's probably easier to pull a colleague because you know where they stand, you've already done the basics, like you've got a little bit of a relationship with them anyway, so you either know if you're going to succeed or not. So it makes it easier work, right?
Yeah.
It's true. Jay, have you ever been witness to a bit of cheating?
No, I haven't. Never. It probably has gone on around me, like when I used to have 9-to-5 jobs, but I probably just didn't have a clue what was going on. But I agree with Daisy. I feel like people plant the seeds during the office time and then act upon it when they've all had a few drinks. I find it.
This is true. This is true. Now, I've been witness to this, not at this organisation. I just want to say, not at this organisation, and it wasn't me. But I have seen it, and it when people have a few drinks and stuff, and obviously working from home now, I don't think you can get as much of a close connection. I know colleagues that I work with have met each other through work and stuff, and I'm not sure that would have happened if we were working from home and it was all over Zoom and GChat and Google Spaces and stuff. I don't know if you can get that connection through that. But then lots of people do meet online, but we want to know your wildest Christmas party story.
I wish I had one so bad.
I mean,
you guys.
Do you have any good family Christmas wild stories? Have you got an embarrassing aunt, an embarrassing uncle, an embarrassing?
I'm the embarrassing person. No one else is me.
Have you got any good stories, Chloe?
Do you know what? No, I haven't.
I want to hear the wildest stories. If you guys have got any wild stories, we need to know in the comments, because I want to. We can use fake names and stuff. That's absolutely fine. We can do that. I know 1 year. In fact, I can't say that. You're asking
us to share our secrets. I can't.
No. It's just not appropriate for a lunchtime pastry hot topics.
But, God, it's not Eddie the Eagle, is it? About Eddie?
No, it's not. But if you guys have got any comments, and do let us know. And in the meantime, whilst you guys have a little bit of a think at home, we are going to go on to the fact that you can date one of our page 3 girls. We are launching a new dating show. And Chloe, the single lady in the green in the corner.
Hello, guys. Single.
Is looking for a man. So we're going to go around the circle and we're going to give you a bit of dating advice. Now, is there any do's or don'ts you think that we can let Chloe know before she starts getting set up with the Daily Star readers? And if you think that you're one of the Daily Star readers who are single single please, and are suitable for Chloe, then do keep an eye on the socials over the weekend, because you'll know how to apply and we can get that ball rolling.
Apply. I feel so good about myself. It's amazing. I like a blonde hair, muscles, tans, like look, maybe a bit Brad Pitty. So if you look like that, then do you know what I mean?
Ben Wright says hello.
Oh! Hi, gorgeous.
Oh,
how's it going, baby? All right.
Love it. It's not even launched yet.
Oh my god, they're already coming, Pandora. I love this.
Daisy, do you have any do's or don'ts that you've learned from your relationship now, previous relationships, that you think we can pass on to Chloe for the dating game?
I would just say in the dating game, even if somebody isn't necessarily your type 100%, just go, because if you're not going to go on that date, what are you going to do instead? Everyone likes a drink, everyone likes something to eat, and they might just someone to have a laugh with. And I always think it's good to have dating experience. So any opportunity for a date, go, because then you've got perfect practice for when the right person comes along.
That's actually a very, very good point. Practice makes
got practice.
Yeah.
Jay?
I don't know, because I'm quite I'm hopeless myself, but I guess there's anything that I've learned, it'd be yourself, because if you're not yourself, it will end up coming out eventually, and they'll end up liking a version of you that isn't real. So just be yourself. And
don't put on a front.
Yeah.
Do you have any embarrassing stories about dates or any no-nos that you think that like you have done yourself which you wouldn't want Chloe to go through?
I've done so many awful things.
Yeah, where to start?
Come on, tell us.
Share which is PG, please.
Of course. I've got too drunk before, like to the point where I was sick everywhere. Like he had to take me to my house and put me to bed and obviously leave, which was diabolical and also so dangerous. Like lucky for me, he was like really nice and like he's not like a weirdo or like predator or anything.
Yeah, that
was horrible, and that was a massive wake up call for me as well. Like don't get too drunk on dates, because if he was a different kind of person, like it's actually not funny when you think he's a different kind of person. But that was awful, and it was very embarrassing, and I was very apologetic the next day.
So the moral of the story is 2 drink max.
Just don't do it. Like just
2 bottles max.
Oh, I can't trust myself on that. I think I'll go well over.
I agree. Never get too drunk on, especially a first date. I got so drunk on the first date I went on with my current boyfriend, the one I hope he's always current one. But to this day, he's like, "Oh, do you remember that?" And I'm like, "No."
Oh my god.
No. Or he's like, or he'll be like, "Oh, on our first date," and I'm like, "I don't remember."
So scary, isn't it? It's frightening.
I didn't do that, did I? And he's like, "Yes."
I've got a funny one, but like with my ex, he was on Big Brother, and God, he brought me up to go up the Elstree Studios or something. I can't remember. You know where the Big Brother filmed or something, and I went up there with my mum, and we got so pissed, and we got out the car and they wouldn't let us in. And oh my god, it was so embarrassing because he was obviously meant to go on like the TV, and they was like, "I'm sorry, they're not coming in. They're so drunk and all that." Anyway, like they proper like got me out. Anyway, like he stayed there. Half an hour late, he's come running down the road and left the show because of me. And this Ryland's ringing him up, seeing where he is and that, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not doing it, mate. I've gone off with Chloe."
Oh
I know.
Well. But there's also another story we can take from that, isn't there? And I think it comes down to drink, girls.
Yeah, it does.
So basically, just don't have too much. Chloe,
I just get so nervous. I really do.
Yeah. Like just don't have too much to drink.
I have to have pre-drinks before I meet any boy. I can't do it if not. I just can't.
Well, Louise said she's glad she's married. I'm pleased you're married too, Louise, because I tell you what, the dating game is a struggle. So but what we're going to try and do is we're trying to get Chloe a date. So obviously those are horror stories. I would also say, Chloe, if you're wearing red lipstick or something, like what I've got on today, just always check that you don't have like red lipstick all over your teeth. That's a good one. Always one to check, and always make sure that you smell nice and have some gum or something.
Yeah,
there is nothing worse than going on a date with someone who has bad breath, because all you'll think about for the entire date is their breath hovering around your space. And I've had that before, and I had to leave after about 30 minutes. I said I feel
Right.
Oh my god.
horrific. I know it was after work. You probably had a couple of coffees during the day, but just take some gum. Mint, please. Do me a favour. But yeah, no, just always good to check. I'd probably say that. And any do's, girls, obviously be yourself. Don't have too much to drink. I mean, is there anything else that you would advise, or anyone in the comments at home who would advise on how to, if you're in a successful relationship, how to keep it long lasting? Any words of encouragement for Chloe before we send her off onto the readers? Any words of encouragement?
Be honest always, because otherwise you've got to carry on the lie. Just have fun. Like, don't take anything too seriously. Like, just have a laugh. Like, I think when you're saying that you feel so nervous before you have to have a drink, don't put too much pressure on it. You're going on a date, you're not going to marry them 2 days later.
See, that's what I think.
Just enjoy it.
I date with them, and I'm like, I love them, I want to marry them. I'm like, I want 10 kids with them, like, on the second day.
Oh God! Right, let's just remember some of these people might be in the comments. Let's not.
Oh God!
Be yourself. Be honest. Don't get yourself into. I'd also say don't be afraid of, like, I don't know, like checking them out beforehand. You can do that these days as well. Obviously, you actually don't have to think about that as much, because we'll obviously be a little research in the background. I've got access to the inbox, so if you do apply, then just so you know, I do have access to your name, and I will be giving you a little stalk. You'll be putting your socials on there, and so keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Oh God.
Moving on from the Daily Star project now, and ending on something a little bit fun. And I'm going to ask you girls whether you know this, because this is one of our top stories this week on the Star. If we can bring up a picture of these, basically it's knickers. So on the knickers, essentially, you have a little bow on the top of them. Does anyone know why you have a bow on top of your knickers? Do any of you girls know?
No.
Sometimes I have to cut that off though. If you're wearing like a tight dress, it's annoying.
Yeah. You don't.
No, but should I not? Do I need it?
No. You don't need it. And does anyone know why on boxers as well you have a little flap at the start of it as well?
No. This is so weird.
I don't know. Well, just so that I don't know what's too rude.
So they don't get a cold bum when they go to the toilet.
Yeah.
No, not. It is to do with going for the toilet, so it's like easy.
So they know what way round they go.
Yeah, I mean, as if they wanted to go for a wee, they could go for a wee, and that's what the flap is about. Now, a lot of people didn't know this at home, but yeah, it was one of our biggest stories this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is pretty pretty wild. Anyway, it's a very classic Daily Star story. But if you guys have got any stories that you want to share next week, Christmas parties, I think we're going to touch on that again, because I think a lot of Christmas parties will be happening tomorrow before office shut next week. So if any stories happen over the weekend, then pop them on our next week of Page 3 Hot Topics, and we'll share them for you, as long as they're clean. And we'll put the knickers story and the box story up to our Instagram story this afternoon. To find out all the reasoning behind it, as lots of people evidently wanted to know at home what they were for. So you'll be able to find out on Daily Star Instagram story. So give us a follow if you haven't, at Daily Star. And we'll be back next week. Oh, and Daisy, little sweet.
Oh my God.
We're matching. Always.
Oh God, she blends in with your top.
Adorable.
I didn't even know she was there.
Right then, well, from the 5 of us, we're going to go. But thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks.
Bye.